One of the common questions I get is, what do I do if I'm traveling? How do I keep up with my fitness routine? How do I get in a good workout when I'm on vacation or maybe traveling for work? And there are a lot of videos on this channel that include a super band or a mini band. And I really like traveling with these. I have my own because they don't take up a whole lot of room and you can pack them in your suitcase. But nowadays, almost every hotel that you go to is going to have a gym. And so what do you do if you know that the hotel has a gym? Well, let me tell you a few things that you can do to get yourself a great workout. When we think about our workouts, we're not necessarily looking to gain a lot of strength. We're not going to make any progress forward, but we also don't want to take an entire week off or lose some of that momentum. Consistency is key. Now, for some people, taking a week off is awesome and you should do that. I mean, that's a great thing that you can do, but for a lot of people, they want to just keep that consistency. So I'm going to ditch these bands. I'm going to show you some things that most hotel gyms have and that you can utilize. So in our programming here at Clarksburg Strength and Fitness, we typically start with a ramp or a dynamic warm-up. Then we go into our strength training, and I'm going to give you 4 different components to that strength training: a finisher, and then a cool down stretching. That should take you about 45 minutes to 50 minutes to complete. Most hotel gyms have dumbbells. Sometimes you'll have a hotel gym that might have 1 or 2 kettlebells. They might be plastic, they might be in kilograms, they might be in pounds, who knows? And then sometimes, if you're lucky, you'll find a cable machine that actually works. And I say that because sometimes I've shown up and the cable has been snapped, a bar has been bent, they're missing the handles. I mean, who knows? So I'm going to put together a little bit of a hodgepodge workout for you. So for the ramp, I typically do something that has a lot of body weight movements. So let's move some of this out of the way. We might do some toe touches here just to warm up the hamstrings. Forward lunge, rotation. I love that one. Another one, instead of the toe touch, one of my favorites is a reach. You could even turn that into a knee hug. Side lunging is another great one. You could do some push-ups. They might be elevated push-ups for this. Sometimes the gym even has a band. Maybe do some pull-aparts, something like that. If it's got a cable machine, you might do some face pulls. Give yourself about 5 minutes to 10 minutes of a nice dynamic warm-up. Then, when we get into strength, most hotel gyms have a bench. Depending on the weights that you have, my go-to is a flat dumbbell press. So, lie all the way down, press up, bring the weights back down to you. Now, if you don't have the weights that challenge you, okay, maybe it's not quite challenging enough, but it's also not super light, you could always go to a single arm dumbbell press. Maybe the weights only go up to 15s or 20s, in which case you might go to a dumbbell fly, nice and wide, or you might go into a dumbbell press, okay? Could be an alternating press. You have lots of options for that depending on the weight. A push-up, a basic push-up, also is a great upper body push movement. So you would look for anywhere between 2 and 4 sets of that. That's for our upper body push. When it comes to our hinge, our hip hinge, deadlifts are usually my go-to, okay? So if they have kettlebells, you could do a basic deadlift. If the kettlebell's not really heavy, we could go into a single arm kickstand deadlift or even into a single leg deadlift. One of the things that I like to do is, if there's a weight stack right here, whether it's a dumbbell or a kettlebell, I like to do the ipsilateral deadlift, single leg, and I'll use either a bench or some sort of machinery to brace myself. Dumbbell rack is another good one, because a lot of times I end up just using a dumbbell, okay? And so I'll get that single leg, get that nice stretch in that movement, okay? Lighter weights, you might even do a RDL or a straight leg deadlift. For that one, you slide your thumbs, literally sliding my thumbs down my legs to just below the kneecaps and standing up nice and tall. Lots of options for that hinge movement. Back movement, the dumbbell row is as simple and as basic as it gets. You can do dumbbell, you can do kettlebell, and most of the time you have enough weight in a typical hotel gym to make that happen. That would be a 6 to 8 on each side. But if it does have a cable, then I really like doing the cable pull down. So hook up some handles here, kneel on down, and I'm going to pull. I'm going to do 8 to 12 of those, okay? Again, not every gym has a cable machine, but they all have some sort of dumbbell, and so you can get away with doing a great dumbbell row that way. So upper body push, any type of push-up, overhead press, dumbbell press, fly. Then we have our deadlift, kickstand, single leg, going ipsilateral, bilateral if you have pretty heavy kettlebells, or an RDL. Awesome, great movements there. Rows, any type of row is going to hit those back muscles. And then our squat. So depending on the weight, my go-to is a goblet, especially at a hotel. I'm going to squat down nice and low, come back up. If it's just 15 pounds, I'd have to do, 30 or 40 of those. Maybe you have 2 weights and you hold them up like this, okay? And now we're squatting. Maybe it's 1 weight, and now we're going to do a split squat. Straight up, straight down in our split squats. Another thing that I like and I commonly go to is a step up. So most hotels have that bench, as I said, and so now I can do a step up and back down. Whoop, let's stay in the camera. So I can do a step up and back down. And if I keep my chest up nice and high, I'm going to hit it more in a squat movement, but maybe I want to do it to target more of the backs of the legs, in which case I will lean forward and step up and control back down. So that's going to mimic more of that deadlift in that step up. So that's typically how I structure the strength portion of it. At hotels, I try to go a little bit faster, so I'll almost superset these, where I might do a dumbbell press and then go into a single leg deadlift. And then I take my rest, and then I'll do a dumbbell press, single leg deadlift. And I'm going to do 3 or 4 of those combo sets or supersets. Then I would do pull downs and split squats, pull downs, split squats, things like that. And that way it speeds it up a little bit. Again, if I'm on vacation or if I'm at a work event, I don't want to spend an hour, hour and a half in the gym if I don't have to. All right, then for a finisher, anything that's really going to get that heart rate up. So plyometrics work really well. If you have a kettlebell, you can do kettlebell swings. Light enough dumbbell, you could do a dumbbell snatch. You could do anything plyometrically. Jumping, right? We could do split squat jumps with a tap in the middle, or completely switching those. So I like to pair some sort of power movement with some sort of plank movement. So it might be an elevated plank, it might be shoulder taps, it might be mountain climbers. If you're trying to get some cardio in, you could be down on the floor doing a plank pull through with a dumbbell. Hopefully they don't have round dumbbells. Okay, so anything that's going to involve the core, 2 or 3 rounds of that. If you have a stopwatch, great. Apple Watch, just click on the stopwatch option for that. Give yourself 20 or 30 seconds of power movements, rest, give yourself some core, do 2 or 3 sets of that, and then cool down. Make sure that you stretch. A lot of times, especially in a hotel, we just want to, all right, I'm gonna skip stretching, or I'll do that later. Get in your good stretch. So you have to have a warm up, some sort of dynamic warm up. Go through your ramp or go through full body. Get everything, shoulders, upper body, lower body, warm up. That's really, really important, 5 to 10 minutes. Then we're gonna do our strength training. Do 3 or 4 sets for each of those 4 different movement patterns: our push, our hinge, or our deadlift. We're gonna do our pull downs or some sort of row, and then our squats. And then power finisher, stretch, call it a day, call it a day. So that should give you a framework to work from when you go into a hotel gym. It's very hard for me to give you a set program because I don't know what equipment is available for you at your gym, but that framework should work no matter what gym you go to.